Hey there, I hope that you are doing well today. Welcome to the Life at a Glance podcast. I am excited. Do I always say that? I am excited about today's topic because today's topic is around what I would not do if I were launching a low ticket. And you may be thinking, well, what authority does she have in order to talk about launching, scaling, growing a low ticket? Well, for 17 years, I had a seasonal children's consignment sale. And 8 days a year, I could generate $500,000 in sales. My systems would help me generate $500,000 in sales. Those were all low ticket. The consignment sale was specifically for kids. And that particular event, I mean, it was a fraction of retail. And so my average item would be like $3, $5. And so that was my first step into really low ticket. And I wouldn't call it e-commerce because it's a product and we were live with the product, right? It was a physical event. But several years ago, I transitioned online and I kind of went down the route that most would go in offering a freebie. And I'm getting into the first thing I would not do. And I was really, really frustrated with it. And based on that frustration, I launched a low ticket template, is a low ticket item or low ticket product. And I've generated over $1 million in sales off of a low ticket. I've got over 9,000 customers that has specifically purchased this item. And I feel to this day have the unicorn of unicorn ads. It is that special combination of knowing your customer and copy and creative that really has fostered like everything that has happened since we launched the low ticket. So let's dive into what I would not do if I were launching a low ticket. And so we have the unicorn, and over the past few weeks, I've actually snuck in a new launch, and I'm actually working on another low ticket right now. And those will be in future episodes. But today, what I would say, number one, what I would not do is I would not start with a freebie or a lead magnet. Anything that you do right now, I would use that as a low ticket. It is so difficult when someone opts in, to convert them into a customer. And I know that you've heard this, like I would rather have a list of buyers and a smaller list than have a list of freebies, folks who have opted in that never did anything with the freebie, never took any action on the freebie, never pulled out their credit card, never did anything except download what you had to offer. We never really think about those folks on our email list, but you are paying for every subscriber. And when someone comes onto your list and is a freebie seeker, it is extremely difficult to then turn around and get that person to purchase from you because you gave away everything. And I don't think we need to overcomplicate the low ticket. I think that it can be really the framework around a low ticket is how can they implement and get that dopamine hit within 10 minutes. And I have a very specific system in how I launch a low ticket. The second thing that I would not do in launching a low ticket is I would not build a course or funnel first. Building a course, I talk about this a lot, I feel like a mad scientist going into a cave, and in your mind, you are thinking about all of the questions that your potential customer would have, and that is how you create that course. A funnel, you're looking at funnel software. There could be friction points in there where you know the tech, you don't know the tech. And how do we make this simple? Now we've got sales page copy, and it takes forever just to launch the thing, right? The most successful things that I have launched have been in conjunction with my customer. And here's what I mean. Years ago, I had various tech tutorials, and I would come up a month. I would say, what is it what tech issues are you having? And they would say the specific software. Then now tell me per the software what problems you're having. And literally every single question were the tutorials that I would record and how I would list those tutorials in the dashboard was exactly the question that my customer asked me. Why would I do that? In theory, you as the expert, you're 10 steps ahead of your customer. Your customer is speaking in terms of the pain and how they are feeling and the questions they are having right now. You as the expert can very quickly, if you're an expert in that field and can solve that problem, you can very quickly solve their problem using their words and using your expertise. That is an amazing, like, that's it. Like, that's the strategy right there. So I would never build a course like a mad scientist in a cave, nor would I worry about the funnel, the front end, the bumps, the OTOs, the back end, the profit center, like all of those things. Oh my gosh, that becomes very complicated. When I launched my first low ticket, I didn't have three-quarters of what I have right now in terms of bumps and one-time offers and understanding my numbers, the data, like all of those things. Okay. So number one, I would not start with a freebie or lead magnet. If those things are that good, we should be able to put a price tag to it. I'm getting to pricing here in just a second. Nor would I build a course or a funnel first. Really, that first offer as the expert, solve the problem, the goal is in 10 minutes or less. And the low ticket that I have now, there have been several versions of that. It's all based on my customer experience. If it is clear to you and it is clear to your customer, who do you think it matters more to? It matters more to them. And so we have, I want to say we're on at least the third version. I know we are on probably fourth or fifth version of my low ticket product. And then finally, how I would round this out, because I told you we would talk a little bit about pricing. If I were launching a low ticket offer right now, I would not underprice at $7 or $9, thinking it's easier to sell. So one of the things that you hear all kinds of stories about are ad costs are rising, and they are rising. And the whole idea behind a low ticket is that initial purchase really, for me, like that goal is to offset the ad expense. And so how much ever money I'm spending every single day, I need to offset that by that initial purchase. So doing things at $7, at $9, you are climbing up that hill, because then you're going to have to do the bumps and you're going to have to do the OTOs, and they're going to have to be optimized to the point where all of those things offset your ad cost. Whether you want to do $10,000 a month net, or whether you want to do $100,000 a month net, like how fast do you want to get there? How fast can you optimize? Pricing things at $7 and $9 really, that initial purchase, the math doesn't math. And I'm a homeschooling mom and I hated math, but that math does not work. And so those are really, based on 6 years of selling 9,000 templates, over $1 million in sales, off of a low ticket offer, and optimizing and switching, whether switching the funnel software, switching the delivery software, switching like all of the things. These are the three things that I would not do today. I wouldn't start with a freebie or a lead magnet. It's so difficult to elevate or nurture that customer into a paid product. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but it's really, really hard. You have to think, when someone is purchasing in a funnel, they're in a flow. And if everything aligns and that first purchase is made, anything that you offer additionally inside of that funnel, you don't want to stop that. Just like it's a buffet, like let them purchase what it is that they want to purchase. Let them say yes to those things and then help them implement those things. I would not build a course or a funnel first. A course feels so overwhelming. People don't finish courses. Courses sit on shelves. I would go after solving their initial friction point in the shortest amount of time possible. I use 10-minute frameworks, 10 minutes over 4 days, because I know if they follow what I share with them, both in the dashboard, and then I also do a live onboarding. I know if they implement, they will need something in their business within 48 hours, and they will go to it. And at that moment, they will realize, oh my gosh, this is the best thing since sliced bread. And folks who've purchased from me will come back to the ads that are out there that are running, and they will say, I purchased this 3 years ago. It was the best thing that I've purchased for my business. That's when you know you have a winner. The funnel, people talk about funnels. These gurus are talking about funnels. They're very, very complicated. Let's just make it super simple. A funnel could be a Google Doc and someone pays you for your solution. That's how complicated it really needs to be in order to get started. And finally, I wouldn't underprice this whole $7 or $9 thinking. It's easier to sell if it's a lower cost product. Let's get some skin in the game. 27.37. If you go above that, unless you really have a whole lot of momentum behind you, anything above that I find is better inside the funnel as a bump or a one-time offer. So over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be sharing really what my experience has been in launching the low ticket, even how I launched the low ticket. But I thought today, if you were thinking about any of these things, and I just polled the community and the majority of folks are thinking about launching a low ticket, I really wanted to give my 2 cents worth. I'm not loud and proud. I am actually quiet and humble. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot for me to come out of my shell and really share share the behind the scenes and share the details. All right. I will be hosting a event here coming up. So you can find that information either in the community, if you're one of my customers, or in my weekly emails, or you can find it on my Facebook page. Where else can you find me? Oh, on the whatchamajig, the website, businessplanofaction.com. All right. Until next week, take care. We'll talk soon.